Hello everyone, welcome to Best Recipes with Sharon. Alright, so let's get right to making some cookies today. The recipe that I'm going to show you how to make is Snickerdoodle cookies. Stay tuned and we'll get right to the recipe right after these advertisements. Alright, back to the kitchen, we'll get out the recipe and let's get started. Placing 1 cup of softened unsalted butter into the mixing bowl. 1½ cups of white sugar. Now then add 2 large eggs. Then I use the paddle attachment and go ahead and mix that together. Continue mixing it long enough until it's nice and creamy. Now add 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar. Just add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And ½ teaspoon of salt. Add 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla and mix that together until it's well combined. And finally add 2 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Then give this a final mix until everything is well combined and it forms a soft dough. This cookie dough is just the right texture that it's a pleasure to work with. I use a small measuring cup and go ahead and make the cinnamon sugar coating, and that's 1/3 cup of sugar and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Take a cookie sheet and line it with some parchment paper. Take the cinnamon sugar and dump it into a wide-faced bowl. Pinch up small pieces of dough and form them into small balls. This cookie dough does puff up quite a bit, so be careful you don't make your balls too awful big because your cookies will end up sticking together and they won't have any room to expand on the cookie sheet. You roll them in the cinnamon sugar and place them on the parchment paper. I made the first batch with a little bit larger balls and I found out that they were a tiny bit big because I did that because I wanted to use the cookie press. But I think that the perfect size is probably about 1-inch balls. I got these cookie presses at Christmas time from my son and daughter-in-law, so I thought I'd give them a try. They actually turn out pretty good, but you don't have to use these in order to make these cookies. I'll show you the other alternatives as well. Having said that, I'm having a little bit of fun using the different designs that are available to me. Okay, so these were fun to work with. So the first batch is going into the oven at 350 degrees for about 9 or 10 minutes. So the true Snickerdoodle cookie is the cinnamon sugar cookie, and they'll be lightly golden like this when they're done. But you can just dip them in sugar if you want and make them more into a sugar cookie if you're not interested in cinnamon. If you don't have a press to make the different designs, you can just use a smooth bottomed mug and flatten the cookies out so that they're nice and uniform in size, and it'll make the cookies look more perfectly round. If you want to make a little bit of a design on the top, you can just use whatever you have around the house. This works too. What's wrong with that, right? No matter which type you're doing, you still bake it for the same amount of time at 350 degrees for about 9 or 10 minutes. Now the very first batch that I did is coming out of the oven, and I had them just a tiny bit close together. I made my balls just a little bit too big. So that's why I said about 1 inch around, and you should place them maybe about 2 inches apart, just so that they don't touch each other when they spread out and rise. And you can add a couple of chocolate chips in the middle of some, that's really nice too. And so these ones I made a little bit smaller, and they look much nicer because the cookies had a little bit more room to rise. These cookies are soft and chewy at the same time and full of flavor. I'm pretty sure that you'll enjoy this recipe as much as I do, and it'll be a keeper. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment in the comments section. Your likes and comments help the ratings on the channel. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and until next time, happy eating!